All right, Ron, thanks. Now our top story tonight. When a suspect in a high-speed chase with a Tennessee State Trooper got away, the trooper didn't let the chase end there. He pursued the driver on social media and quickly tracked him down. Action News 5's Joyce Peterson live with how the trooper Joyce was able to catch this man.
Yeah, Joy, tonight 23-year-old Devin Jackson sits in a cell inside 201 Poplar, booked on felony evading arrest charges. The Tennessee Highway Patrol says Jackson took his little red Corvette for a ride much too fast. Speed and social media posts about the pursuit quickly landed him in jail. 23-year-old Devin Jackson now locked up inside the Shelby County Jail. 11:20 Sunday night at Airways and Park Avenue here in Orange Mound, the trooper says he saw a red Corvette do a burnout. The trooper turned on his emergency lights and gave chase northbound on Airways, where the trooper said the red Corvette crossed into oncoming traffic. The trooper says the driver was going 100 miles per hour in a 45-mile-per-hour zone right next to where the fairgrounds are. So the trooper called off the road chase and took his pursuit to social media. First stop, Facebook, where the trooper said, "I conducted a search of red Corvettes within Shelby County, posting about pursuits with Tennessee State troopers." That led him to Clan Devo's page, where posts about the pursuit are now gone, but you'll find multiple pictures of Devin Jackson with his brand new 2026 C8 Cherry Red Corvette. Next stop, Instagram, where the trooper said, "I was able to obtain the vehicle tag from a photo." Good work by THP, but had it been a Memphis police officer pursuing Jackson, he or she would not be allowed to scan social media for clues without permission from a special compliance team. MPD is under the federal Kendrick Consent Decree, in place since the 1970s after the city was caught spying on protesters. The decree was updated in 2020 to allow MPD to use social media to fight crime, but not to spy or track citizens.
I could teach an entire semester class on the consent.
MPD attorney Jimmy Thomas now holding seminars explaining how the process works. MPD, he says, conducts fewer than 30 social media searches a month for fear of violating the decree. Not a concern for THP, the trooper identified Devin Jackson in less than 24 hours using the power of social media. And Jackson faces felony evading arrest charges along with reckless driving, reckless endangerment, and speeding. If you are interested in learning more about how MPD has to follow the Kendrick Consent Decree, they're holding forums. The next one is Monday, August 17th at the Rains Police Station. Find out what they can and cannot search for online about you. Reporting live in downtown Memphis tonight outside 201 Poplar, Joyce Peterson, Action News 5.